These comments were from 2024 itself. As much as I've had so much good memories, created so many friendships through the use of social media, there lies a side of the social media world which remains sinister and a mystery to me. Today we'll be talking about online harms and more specifically cyberbullying and image-based sexual abuse, IBSA for short. So personally for myself, I've experienced 3 types of cyberbullying. Direct, which is basically comment sections of my own posts or directly to my DMs. Indirect, which is comments on other friends' posts or other social media posts that I've been involved in. And lastly, IBSA, which is a new territory for me, and basically it is leveraging technology for abuse, for online harms. There are some statistics that I found as well on online harms, and it says that 61% of people who encountered harmful content actually ignored it, and only 1/4 reported it to the platform. For those who did not report harmful content, they cited not really seeing the need to go and take action towards it. She believed that making a report would not really make a difference, which is rather heartbreaking to hear, especially from someone who's experienced the brunt of it. I want to talk a little bit about my experience with cyberbullying and IBSA. And basically in 2021, I received quite a lot of direct hate through my messages or actually the comment sections about how I looked. 2021, there was a forum that was discussing my body and how it should be looking and how I was looking different from back in 2018, which was many years before that. And I also experienced a case of doxing whereby they exposed my parents' then address. Throughout the years of 2022 and 2023, I also received more hate on my body and commentary on my relationship that ended in 2023 last year. I actually experienced my first ever image-based sexual abuse situation, which came as a shock to me and was genuinely one of the tougher things that I had to deal with and I had to try and navigate because it was so new. What exactly is IBSA? IBSA is using and leveraging technology to manipulate images online, and also there are other things that fall within the same category, but it's also possession and distribution of such images to the wider web. Related to me. And more recently as well, I experienced my second case of IBSA where the same photo has been circulating around, just this time around in a different platform altogether. Yeah, I want to talk about some key things here and how it made me feel as an individual. So what happened to me in August 2023 was that I received a DM from a follower, and this person actually shared with me that someone had been using my images and they placed it on the website. So when this happened, I obviously probed more and I said, hey, by the way, I hope you don't get scammed because, I don't know what's happening out there and I don't know if people might be wanting money or blackmail out of these as well. So afterwards, I then, probed more for more information, and I understood that basically this person couldn't send me the image because it might have been flagged by Instagram, but I was able to find it myself. From there, that was when I was able to decide, okay, there are a few things that I need to do about this situation to stop the spread of this specific image. A year later, actually in 2024, this same person actually came up to me on social media one more time in my DMs, and he told me, okay, look, there is another link this time, but it's the same image. So this suggests that maybe other people have been trying to spread this same image, even though it's obviously fake. And the eerie thing was that when I used my own cross-browser testing, right, I actually saw that you are able to click into a new platform that helps you to undress people within the picture, which was very, very harmful. And I just don't understand how people are able to do this with a conscious mind and sell the content, because it doesn't really make sense to me, and it's very, very harmful, especially to someone who, what if the victim was a minor? That's even worse. And it's very, very upsetting to really go through and try and understand and navigate this situation. So I'm actually looking up some statistics regarding IBSA, and it turns out that there's not a lot that has been reported. And this was actually to the Minister of Home Affairs. How many instances of alleged criminal acts involving the possession or distribution of voyeuristic or intimate image or recording or any other alleged image-based sexual abuse have been reported to the police? And what the minister actually mentioned was that between the years of 2021 and 2023, the SPF received an average of about 340 reported cases per year involving possession or distribution of such images. And SPF does not track the number of such cases involving deepfakes or manipulated images or videos using generative AI tools. So I think it's safe to say that we don't really have too much documentation aside from the cases that are reported. We don't really have much insight on the cases that are unreported. Really shows us a little bit about how maybe a few different parties, right, as victims, maybe we have to stand up and go through with the reporting and see it through, as much as however hurtful it is. And also, for others online, if they see such cases, to help the victims on their behalf report these kind of things to the platforms too. Cyberbullying essentially made me feel very insecure about who was watching me. I always looked over my shoulder, especially on IBSA. I felt at that point in time that my body was just an object. I was just an object, and my body was a commodity that was freely discussed among the netizens. And everyone felt like they had an opinion over it or a stake in discussing how my body looked and should look like. Through image-based sexual abuse, they were also empowered to do as they wished to my body, and that was extremely damaging, and it absolutely breaks my heart just thinking about it. So how did this online harm affect the people around me? I think my parents are divorced, and my mom's perspective is that she's always so supportive of who I am online, and she's always the first person that will support me through and through. Dad, however, doesn't really have much presence online, so he doesn't really see all that is said about me. But I imagine if he ever heard or saw what people were saying about me, he would be incredibly hurt as well. So my friends, they are, a source of, they are like pillars for me of support. And I don't think I've ever experienced a case where my friends have been, part of the problem. In fact, they've been trying to help me report all of these cases, and they're trying to help me find justice in a world where it seems so difficult to do so. I also feared being myself online again, and this was really because I received a lot more hate on a certain platform, and I withdrew a lot, and I did not want to engage or even try to create new content within the space. I was just in a lot of fear that the algorithm would sway my content towards a site that is not as desirable, and they would try and harm me further as well. So I kind of turned to focus on other platforms, and basically, I went where I was celebrated in that sense. It questioned my beliefs on social media. I'm sure we all know by now, but social media is such a powerful tool that has, the power to move communities, to inspire others to live a better life. Harmful behaviors really impacted the way that I treated social media and how I viewed my use of social media. At one point as well, I was thinking, is it even worth it to create content for these platforms? Of course, I eventually, had time to reflect on it, and I focused on what I loved the most, which was my storytelling, or kind of sharing my struggles along with my experiences in the case that someone might come across it and it might benefit them in some way or another. That's how I really recentered into who I was as a creator, and made peace and moved on from the situation. So I want to talk about what I did when I was trying to tackle the situations, both cyberbullying and IBSA. Firstly, for cyberbullying was that I was doxxed and my parents' address were actually revealed on this specific thread. So what happened was that I could write into the forum and the forum owner and tell them that, hey, this is a clear crime, because doxing someone's address is not legal. You're not supposed to do things like that. So instantly the thread was removed, and that was fine. However, for IBSA, it is a little bit tricky because these perpetrators actually used an existing photo of mine and simply made me look and appear nude in the photos. And, you know, like, I had to jump through a few hoops and I had to try and understand how I was supposed to go about with it to try and report it. So the first few options obviously was to contact the website owner. However, this one was more of a generic one, which I'm not so sure whether they had enough like website support, so I could send a request over. I don't think I saw a contact page. I'm not too sure about it. And then secondly, I thought, okay, maybe Google can help me here. So I managed to find a Google support page and I was able to fill up a form, which I'll show you guys in this video here as well, of how I filled it up and how I managed to find it. I will share the links as well after this video, but basically this was how I reported the link, and also to not allow other people to search up the link anymore. I uncovered along the way after attending the Creators for Impact, which is an inaugural YouTube event. I actually shared my story with the Creators for Impact on a panel, and I actually learned about how more focus will be placed on age assurance measures. So making sure this is to minimize Singapore's users to harmful content and to protect children from inappropriate content. I also asked, during Mos Rahayu session, whether if there would be repercussions for cyberbullies and if our national identities could potentially be tied to our media platforms. But alas, Mos Rahayu mentioned that tackling such an issue would require the help and cooperation of the platforms too. And everyone needs, to kind of jump in on this and to work together to prevent such cases from happening. So there was also a sharing by Touch Cyber Wellness, which uses a multi-pronged approach to engage with schools and the community, and they work with several stakeholders to deliver consistent messaging and to promote cyber literacy on an ongoing basis. So I thought this was really helpful because if we're able to discern, what is a scam or what is, maliciously created kind of content, we are able to report them accordingly. Beyond regulation, the Digital for Life movement also promotes responsible behavior online and cultivates a safer digital environment. But personally for me, I think what really helped me was that the Google safety links were available and I was able to send in my report, and the report was answered, I think, within 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, I think that for me was enough closure for the entire situation. I didn't really know of the options that I had, and I wish that I went to the police instead, because I feel like they will be better and much more equipped to help me in this situation or try and navigate it through. So I do have some final thoughts, and I think ultimately social media has changed my life. It has even provided me a source of income and the level of freedom that I never thought I could ever achieve in my lifetime. And I'm incredibly happy to be doing this role and to be putting myself out there, to be sharing my stories. Career has also brought me to be able to meet so many people that I would have never otherwise crossed paths with. So I have so much to be grateful for, and I continue to be absolutely grateful for all the opportunities I have to create and to tell my stories. Any of the individuals that are watching this video going through something similar like I did, please don't hesitate to reach out for help. Know also that you're never alone and that these kind of platforms should be doing their best to protect us from online harms. To the youth and bystanders in any of these online harm situations, I wish for you to look out for yourself and to look out for your loved ones, just like how you would look out for them in real life. For the cyberbullies, I can only wish for you to have a peace of mind. Be conscious of how your actions and words can potentially impact and change someone's lives. Just know that kindness and empathy will always triumph, and nothing ever comes good out of being a negative person or bringing and inflicting harm onto others. I can't really say for sure that cyberbullies have truly ruined my life in Singapore, but what I can say is that it has made my life a whole lot more difficult and challenging and uncomfortable. Alas, life is all about navigating through these kind of situations, and if anything, This whole experience has taught me to be the strong person that you're looking at today. I also learned so much more about myself through this process. Thank you so much for watching, and please refer to the details below in the description for all the resources that I've shared today.